What's happening, people? It's pretty early in the morning where I live, 7 something in the morning. Hope you guys are doing well. I got a lot to talk about since the Pacquiao fight with Thurman and some upcoming fights as well. Okay, we know Errol Spencer's fighting Sean Porter, but Adrian Broner will be fighting Ivan Redcats. So check out that. That's the guy that stopped Devon Alexander. Devon Alexander obviously is coached by a coach that is one of the coaches of Adrian Broner. So Adrian Broner want to get that back. And Adrian Broner made a statement about Keith Thurman versus Manny Pacquiao with context of defense. He's not talking about in terms of the overall fight and how competitive it was. And Adrian Broner was saying that in terms of defensively or defense-wise, he thought he did a better job against Pacquiao than Thurman did because he came out untouched. At least his face didn't look marked up and stuff against Manny Pacquiao as Keith Thurman did. Again, like I said to you guys, I think Adrian Broner has a case when it comes to that. He basically was much better defensively against Manny Pacquiao, but that doesn't mean that Adrian Broner, did better than Keith Thurman. Everybody knows Keith Thurman did better than Adrian Broner. Shout out to each and every one of you who comes through here. Don't forget to smash the like button. Thank you very much. Also, you can subscribe and donate to my channel. I still haven't set up the donations rig, so I'm sorry about that. It's still taking a little while to get the donations back together. But yeah, so Adrian Broner did a hell of a job against Manny Pacquiao. We're now seeing that. In retrospect, he did a very, very fantastic job. And there's some workers outside just chopping up. And as soon as I started talking, apparently their energy level got higher and they decided to make a lot of more noise. So what I'm going to do is come inside of the studio room here. Keyboards in the background. This room's not soundproof, but it kills off a lot of sound. Oh, the door's stuck. Shit. A lot of shit sometimes happens, I'm going to close this door then. Right here. Alright, that should seal off some of the sound. Yeah, so Adrian the Problem Broner, defensively speaking, he did a better job against Manny Pacquiao. Shout out to each and every one of you guys that are coming into this discussion. I see that my last stream really got a lot more views than normal, which is very good. Don't forget to smash that like button when you come through, and don't forget that you can donate to my channel. In this case, just ask me. I'm going to get everything set up soon. Got to get out and go on the road, so let me try and get this video done. So, Adrian Broner, yeah. Defensively, Adrian Broner did a better job against Manny Pacquiao, but the problem with it was he didn't do a lot of offense. His offensive output wasn't the greatest. His defense was very good, but his offense wasn't. And one of the things Adrian Broner did with Manny Pacquiao, which Keith Thurman did not do, is he would stop the activity by clinching Manny Pacquiao. So if Manny Pacquiao was starting to really go like a piston with his hands, Broner would try and tie him up. Okay? Now, what I was trying to say is, if you look at Jeff Horn and his success against Manny Pacquiao, it was because, and that was a shutout, Jeff Horn tied up Manny Pacquiao. When he was tying him up, he was also inside fighting with him, roughing him up, punching him up on the inside. And that's something Pacquiao still didn't show me that he has the perfect solution to. Once you cut down range on him, you start tying him up and landing those punches. And that's where Keith didn't do enough. He did it and was successful in round 4 particularly. He did it again in I think one of the later rounds. But he changed up his strategy, kept on changing strategy against Pacquiao. I more wanted to box Pacquiao from long range, which I thought was just dumb. If something's working for you, stick with that. He was taking some damage at first, coming in walking down Pacquiao, but then afterwards he started to change it up. And when he changed it up a little bit, he was successful, at pushing Pacquiao back and getting him to the ropes and being able to do some work on him. So, I mean, if Keith Thurman's, this is the other thing, man. I just recently heard that Pacquiao is accepting a rematch. So it looks like they're going to run it back again, a second time, which is crazy. They're going to run it back a second time. First, though, Pacquiao need to rest up. I would suggest very strongly he gets good rest, recoups, lets his body really fully recoup because the like he realized, and I guess Floyd Mayweather also knew this. The body just needs a little time to recoup, get itself back in order because whenever he goes back into training, there's a lot more stress on the body. But Pacquiao, man, sensational. Leonard Ellerbe had called it. He didn't say Pacquiao would win, but he said Keith Thurman ain't stopping. He ain't stopping Pacquiao's career. Definitely, Pacquiao's career was not stopped. I am very much impressed by that. Now, let me talk about some other things Leonard Ellerbe talked about, which was it seems as though they were studying Manny Pacquiao for many, many, many years. Floyd and Leonard Ellerbe, and they knew what Pacquiao was bringing to the table by the time they got up to fight him. And Leonard was saying it's something totally different inside that ring than what you're seeing outside the ring, and it's very true. I'm gonna tell you this: Pacquiao is a problem for any welterweight in the top division, and there are only there are only three other top welterweights. There's Sean Porter, who's facing Errol Spence. I don't know who's gonna win that fight. I favor Errol, but you just never know because I favored Keith to beat Pacquiao. And if Keith didn't get dropped in the first round, which was highly unlikely because it was good, definitely heading in that direction. But let's just say he was aware of Pacquiao and what Pacquiao brought to the table. He was really ready for him, and he didn't get dropped in the first round, and he would have won the fight because I think the momentum shifted from him to Pacquiao in that first round. I think also, and these are all ifs. If he hadn't get hit with a body shot in the 10th round, he definitely would have pulled it off 8-4. So when you think about it, Keith Thurman has to go now and consider, the mistakes he made, why defensively those mistakes happened, and what he can do. Well, he knows Pacquiao now. He's faced him. What he can do to make sure those things don't happen, and he'll get a clear decision win. I think, though, he needs to walk Pacquiao down some more. He tried to box him a little bit too much, where he should probably have been walking his ass down and imposing his weight and his strength on Pacquiao. And that's the one thing I think Keith Thurman did not do very well. It's not easy to do because Pacquiao sets traps. You walk into the trap, then you're in trouble. But I think coming off an angle off the jab, like how Errol Spence does it, I think that pretty much kind of helps solve that problem. So it looks like Pacquiao's going to rematch. Fuck. It looks like Pacquiao's going to rematch Keith Thurman, which is going to be a good thing. We'll have to do my abs in a minute. So that's a good ass fight, But I think Pacquiao just needs to recoup. I think he's into the Philippines, and it was a Philippine. He went straight to the Philippines. Pacquiao's right now in the Philippines. That's some fucking crazy shit. And he is probably going up and getting heroes welcome when he gets there in the Senate and shit, because he's a senator. But he's Manny Pacquiao is he's the dude, man. He's the man. You know what I'm saying? He's the man, and he's his own boss. So shit, he making most of the money now. It's raining money for Manny Pacquiao. That's I think why he's so inspired as well. And doing so well. He's his own boss. After he left Bob Arum in Top Rank, after the last fight he had to do for Bob Arum was Jeff Horn fight. Manny Pacquiao, he's just been like he has a second life, and he's so happy because he's making all that money now. He's rolling in money. He's rolling in the dough. All that pay-per-view is his. He don't play no fucking promoter. He know how to do nothing. And, he's co-promoting with Mayweather Promotion, so they take a small piece of the pie. But at the end of the day, he rolling in money now. Pacquiao is rolling in dough. And that translate that US into Filipino dollars. Oh motherfucker, he's like Bill Gates up in the Philippines. He could buy the Philippines. You know what I'm saying? And he just won against Keith Thurman. Now he's a historical figure. He's a historical figure now. So shit. I was going to say that people are talking about Keith Thurman's meal before the fight, and him gambling the night before. Look. None of that means shit. None of that's the reason Keith Thurman lost the fight. And no, he's not taking the fight not seriously. He took the fight seriously. All right, so I don't want to hear that. If you want to say he should have had one or two more tune-up fights, yeah, he could have, ideally. But I still think he would not have been able to. He would have still been shocked by Pacquiao's speed, because Floyd was shocked by Pacquiao's speed in the fourth and sixth round. Okay, so and the traps that Pacquiao said. So it's not like it's not like would he have been dropped? I don't think he would have been dropped, but I think that Keith Thurman, though, otherwise he still would have been a rude awakening. Pacquiao is just that fucking fast. And he has hurt every single opponent he has faced in boxing, even the ones that beat him. He's hurt them. So Manny Pacquiao's that kind of dude. He's that kind of dude. He's just that kind of dude. But Keith Thurman, they're talking about. I saw it. I saw the clip where he was eating ice cream before he faced Manny Pacquiao. It was a natural based ice cream, by the way, and you're allowed to do that. You still having normal meals. You're still having your carbs. You're still having your stuff. People feel that when you're training, you can't have a piece of cake or whatever. You don't eat a lot of sugar, but at this stage in the game where he needed energy, yeah, you need a carb boost. So there was nothing wrong with him eating ice cream that morning. When you saw him casually eating ice cream that morning, there's nothing wrong with that. And I see people don't understand. I eat brownies. Okay, that's my thing. I love brownies. I try to eat sugar-free brownies, but they still got fat in it, so it still got energy. I still have to burn that shit off. But I eat brownies, and hey, I eat brownies. Okay, but I don't eat them all day long, right? I eat my brownie, my serving. It helps. The chocolate helps your stomach, by the way. People don't know that it helps your nervous system. It helps your stomach, especially chocolate. If you can get chocolate like carob. It's great. It helps your stomach. It helps your digestion. So I had stomach problems, and that was one of the things that helped me. Of course, I got to drink a lot of water, a lot of fluid. So it's nothing wrong with doing these things when you know exactly what you're doing to your body, what you're trying to bring to the table. Keith Thurman none of that shit affected his performance. Besides that, he's young too. So that wasn't what happened. It was Pacquiao happened. Now, y'all trying to find things to make excuses about, like what you did with Anthony Joshua lost to Andy Ruiz. No, he just fucking lost. That's just what it is. He lost. When you look at the defensive flaw that he made, where he was engaging with a guy at short range, who's just good at short chopping shots, he fucked up. And that's just what it was. Can Anthony Joshua come back and beat Andy Ruiz? Absolutely, he can. Some people think Andy Ruiz has his number. Probably does. To some degree, he always gets that jab inside to the body, Andy Ruiz, but don't get it twisted. Anthony Joshua, if Andy Ruiz lapses off and thinks, he because he beat Joshua, he can beat him again. Fuck no, it's gonna be a more evolved fight. Anthony Joshua gonna bring more to the table. He's gonna tighten up that defense, and he's gonna come at Andy Ruiz to get back his titles. All right, and he was doing an excellent job before he dropped Andy Ruiz. After he dropped Andy Ruiz too. After he dropped Andy Ruiz, that's when Andy Ruiz got the opportunity because he engaged him. He hit him with a 1-2 piece. Andy Ruiz was rocked, and he tried to hit him with a 1-2 again. And Andy Ruiz responded, hitting him with a left hook over the top of the head, and that was that. All right. So it is what it is. It's boxing. Okay. Keith Thurman came in with Manny Pacquiao. He just jabbed him. He turned on a pivot. And he took 2 steps back. Manny Pacquiao realized what the fuck he was doing. And he came 2 steps in. Bam, bam. Left hook, right hand. Okay? It's a weird combination. I'm not going to lie to you. Left hook, right hand. Took him down. Right? And it was left hook, right hook. Kind of like left hook, right hook. It was a good fucking combination. Body to head. Took him down. Keith Thurman felt like Zab Judah. It took his legs out from under him, and he was moving back at a weird angle as well, so he was off balance. So all of that, Pacquiao, man, he just it was beautiful. Flash knockdown. Keith Thurman wasn't hurt. He was not buzzed really. He chuckled because he was like, man, this motherfucker quick, right? So you can't sleep on Pacquiao, and that's what Leonard Ellerbe said. He said you can't sleep on this motherfucker. He awkward as fuck. He really is, and he's quick. That's why Floyd said I was looking at his ass extremely closely. He said Floyd has the utter respect for Manny Pacquiao. They both have utter respect for each other. But Floyd made it look easy, like Pernell Whitaker made it look easy. Floyd come from that cloth, And y'all talk about, what about this fighter in history? Oh, Sam Langford would have beat Floyd. Sam Langford was a fucking flat-footed fighter, motherfuckers. He was a fucking flat-footed fighter. He was like Roberto Duran. You know, y'all say Roberto Duran, he was light on his toes at lightweight. Fuck no, motherfucker. He got outboxed by Edwin Viorek. All right, he wasn't light on his feet. Y'all don't know shit about boxing. He was explosive. He ain't light on his feet. You know who's light on his feet and was an aggressive swarmer? Ricky Hatton. Ricky Hatton used to fight on his toes. Fucking Sam Langford don't fight on no fucking toes. Roberto Duran don't fight on no fucking toes. All right? They explosive. They're explosive. And they use head movement and they use feints. They're explosive. Don't tie that up with being light on your toes. They ain't no fucking Muhammad Ali. They ain't no fucking Floyd Mayweather. They ain't no fucking Shane Mosley. Those motherfuckers quick on their feet all the way through their fucking career. You know what I'm saying? You gotta know your boxing. Sam Langford wouldn't beat Floyd. He wouldn't beat Floyd. That ain't happening. He wouldn't beat Pernell Whitaker. So how are he gonna beat Floyd? Y'all have to understand the fucking boxing. There ain't nobody in boxing in history. I don't give a fuck who you say they are. Who's beating Pernell Whitaker? If they can't beat Pernell Whitaker, how the fuck they beating Floyd? Explain that to me. Explain that to me. You know Pernell Whitaker beat everybody except for Tito Trinidad, and that was because he decided he was going to try and knock out Tito Trinidad to get the win. All right? He changed his strategy up. If he was the elusive Pernell Whitaker, the shit ain't happening. Tito be boxing the whole night, and Pernell would just be boxing rings around that motherfucker. Not to mention he was coming off a 2-year layoff, and on top of that, the motherfucker was using cocaine. But I'm just saying. That motherfucker was crazy, man. He and Sugar Ray Leonard, cocaine, sniffing that coke. Tyson Fury too. Amir Khan allegedly too. What is wrong with these motherfuckers? They feel they're gonna get more fast twitch muscles off of cocaine? Get the fuck out of here. They need the cocaine. So anyway, my point being that you just look at Pernell Whitaker. You just think of any fighter in history. I don't care if it's fucking Willie Pep or fucking Canizzari or fucking, I could mention a whole set of fucking names. All right? Ain't none of those motherfuckers beating Pernell Whitaker. Roberto Duran ain't beating Pernell Whitaker at lightweight. He's not beating Pernell at lightweight. Pernell was too fucking good. Pernell was better than any competition he has faced in his entire fucking career. All right? Ain't nobody beating Pernell Whitaker. Okay? He made Julio Cesar Chavez look like a fucking novice. He made Chavez look like a novice. He made Chavez look like he was old. All right? So, no, man. No. Chavez, there's a reason Chavez didn't want to fight Pernell when Pernell was the number one contender at lightweight to take him in terms of the ring rankings, right? Chavez was the lineal champion. Pernell was the number one contender. Chavez wasn't having that shit. He moved up in weight class to avoid Pernell. Fought Pernell. You know what Chavez fought Pernell? Chavez fought Pernell at welterweight. He was at lightweight. Pernell was at welterweight. That's when that motherfucker chose to fight Pernell. So you can say, oh, he was bigger. Pernell was bigger than me. No, he wasn't. All right. Your ass decided I ain't having no piece of that motherfucker. And they still gave it a draw. They robbed that motherfucker. They robbed Pernell. Y'all have to understand, Pernell Whitaker is a different breed. Made Oscar look like an ass. Oscar got one or two, straight rights in there. But come on now. Come on now. Pernell motherfucking Whitaker, man. Y'all tripping. Floyd was one of his proteges. They talk mostly about Zab Judah, but Floyd was one of his proteges. Pernell Whitaker's proteges. And Floyd was a bad motherfucker. Bad motherfucker. Okay, Zab Judah was a bad motherfucker too. Don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. Zab was a bad motherfucker. Had his luck. His luck was kind of bad, and he had I think the problem with Zab was not only his luck, but I think, not to make excuses for Zab Judah because he lost, and when he lost, he lost. But Zab was a dude, had a lot of potential, but I think his temperament kind of messed up everything. Sometimes he loses shit over shit that he should have just stayed calm about. When he was fighting Costa Zoo and he got knocked down and he got up and he fell back down and the ref called off the fight, he was pissed. Obviously, he was off. That was basically it. But he didn't have the composure. You have to have composure, and he was experienced. You don't just pop back up after you get knocked down. You be spinning all around the place. You take a knee, you recollect yourself, and then you get back up. Right? He didn't know that shit, and I think Costa Zoo was the unraveling of Zab Judah. He was an incredible fighter. Still became undisputed welterweight champion of the world. The last undisputed welterweight champion was Zab Judah, beating Corey Spinks, who was a very, very good southpaw boxer. And the first time he faced Corey Spinks beat him. But in the final rounds, Zab was really coming on strong on Corey Spinks. He knocked him down and all that shit. When they rematched, when they ran it back, Zab beat him, Like a lot of people think that Keith Thurman, if they run it back with Pacquiao, might beat Pacquiao. It's very possible. But you just never know with Manny Pacquiao. You never know. So I like how Pacquiao fought, man. On to some other things. Leonard Ellerbe said, and some other people in boxing said, not just about Pacquiao, but also about some other fights. We got some good upcoming fights coming up. I don't know what's happening with Danny Garcia, but I wanted to talk to you guys about another upcoming fight. Yeah, Adrian Broner versus Red Cat. That should be a good ass fight. Then we have and we have Josecito Lopez. Not Josecito Lopez. What the fuck is that? Victor Ortiz, man. Motherfucking Victor Ortiz gonna be fighting next, and he got fighters under him now. He's got a fighter under him. Victor Ortiz, by the way, he's doing pretty good career-wise. He just had another win. It was this year. So he's winning again. He's back to his winning ways. The PBC has made boxing such a fucking fantastic thing now. Boxing is coming back with a boom. I am so excited. Dillian White did a very impressive thing against Oscar Rivas. So shout out to Dillian White on that. Seeing Frank Bruno back in boxing is really nice as well. So it's just really awesome to see all these people, these characters and players in the sport of boxing. Guys, don't forget, you can subscribe to my channel, like my videos. Thank you for all the likes and subscriptions that you guys have been doing. I think that it is just beautiful to watch the sport of boxing and do what it does. I'm very happy to be kind of involved in it as well. If you guys like what is happening, don't forget to check my poll. I don't know if it's closed now, but I was asking you guys on the poll, who should Canelo fight next? Apparently, Canelo really is not going to be facing anybody in September, which is fucked up, when he should face Demetrius Andrade. I don't know why he doesn't do that. But I think that Manny Pacquiao is in the pound-for-pound rankings the number one pound-for-pound fighter in the world. I think he just overtook Canelo. I think also that people are talking about him being the greatest fighter of all time. I wouldn't call him the greatest fighter of all time, since Muhammad Ali already has that title. So I wouldn't call him the GOAT. What I'd call him is the greatest people's champion. The greatest people's champion. That's what I would call him. To distinguish himself from Muhammad Ali. He's not trying to ride off of Muhammad Ali and shit like that. And he should get that brand. He should get that brand, that logo, imprinted as soon as possible, because he's definitely the greatest of this era. He's definitely, if you want to call him the greatest of all time, he's up there. Okay, but the problem with that is we already got the greatest. All right, Muhammad Ali is the greatest, so you can't go now and try to run off of Muhammad Ali's title. That's bullshit. Be unique. Always be original. So to define yourself now, call yourself the greatest people's champion or some shit like that. Distinguish yourself. Separate yourself from Muhammad Ali. Floyd was smart enough to understand what TBE was. So he's Mr. TBE. He distinguished himself from anybody else who called themselves anything else. He called himself the best ever, which fucking is so fucking true to him. And I think you need a title that's true to Manny Pacquiao, like the people's champion, or Like, because nobody really has nobody has branded the people's champion. So fucking Manny Pacquiao could call himself the people's champion or the greatest people's champion or some shit like that, where nobody else has branded that shit and use that logo, because Pacquiao, quite frankly, is one of the special fighters. Aaron Pryor was special, but Aaron Pryor ain't got a resume like Manny Pacquiao. And fuck, I think Manny Pacquiao is the Aaron Pryor of this generation. Okay, he the Aaron Pryor of this generation. He the Henry Armstrong of this generation. He's the Sam Langford of this generation. But he better than Sam Langford, because Sam Langford couldn't move like Pacquiao. And y'all some of y'all gonna say, oh no, that's fuck y'all. I saw clips of Sam Langford, not only at mostly at heavyweight, obviously, but nonetheless, I seen him fighting, and that motherfucker, he walk you down. He wasn't he was Joe Walcott as well. That was his name as well. Was it Joe Walcott? No, Joe Walcott was another dude, and he was welterweight. But Sam Langford, man, he was a bad motherfucker. I give him that. I've seen footage of him, and he was explosive as fuck. But as to say he was light-footed, that's not true at all. He and Duran were not light-footed. I've seen Duran at lightweight. He wasn't light-footed. He had problems with movers. And I wouldn't be surprised Langford also had problems with movers. All right, so having said that, but he had quick hands and explosive feet. Canelo is not light-footed. Canelo's not, he's explosive, but he's not light-footed. You look at, so I'm just distinguishing between some fighters and other fighters. Julio Cesar Chavez wasn't light-footed. Jose Luis Castillo wasn't light-footed. They had nice footwork and they could cut off the ring, but they weren't light-footed. So you have to know the difference. Sean Porter, on the other hand, is explosive, light-footed. He boxes off his toes. It's a totally different thing. All right, so you have to know, Ricky Hatton was light-footed. It was weird because as a swimmer, his feet were very, very busy. Hatton had very, very busy feet, and he fought on his toes. So you have to know the difference between what a light-footed fighter is and a flat-footed fighter. Flat-footed fighters try to get their most power and torque. So that's why they go down flat. You look at Pernell Whitaker when he fought flat-footed, and it was against two fighters, the Pios guy, and then he fought flat-footed against Felix Trinidad. Right? He's trying to get as much leverage and power, and he could have been a fucking power puncher when he go flat-footed. Right? Same thing with Floyd. Floyd's a power puncher. I don't think he has as much power as Pernell does. Pernell would crucify a dude. What he did to Hurtado, Blaze Hurtado, that Cuban boxer was outboxing his ass. He murked that motherfucker. And the referee should have called that fight about 2 punches in. I think he messed up Hurtado's career because of that. He fucked him up bad. So, I think Floyd had worse hands than Whitaker did. But Floyd has power as well. He's a power. If Floyd decided to be a power puncher, he could be a power. His hands is the thing, especially when he hit somebody in the head, mash up his hands. So that's the problem with Floyd. You hear that from his father. His father had brittle hands too. Roger, on the other hand, didn't have brittle hands. So Roger, had that power and torque and how to throw a punch. I think Floyd learned from Roger that, the elusiveness from Jeff Mayweather, and the skill, speed, and the fundamentals from his father, Floyd Mayweather Sr. Pernell Whitaker, again, gave him some more elusive things to do in the boxing ring. So Floyd learned from a whole bunch of different motherfuckers, including Sugar Ray Leonard. So, and that's what people don't know. Sugar Ray Leonard actually had an input into Floyd's life, as well as Roberto Duran, and all of these fucking greats. Y'all have to understand, man, these fucking greats helped. They always do, up to this day. It's a fraternity. These motherfuckers be helping the younger guys. Only selfish motherfucker like Marvin Hagler ain't helping nobody. All right? Marvin Hagler, in a way, to me, is kind of like a sourpuss motherfucker. He a hell of a boxer, but he ain't trying to help the next generation. And then talking bad about boxing. Fuck you, Marvin Hagler. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, back to what I was saying. Yeah. Leonard, he's still trying to help the younger boxers. Whitaker was helping. He was actually training some boxers and shit. Mark Too Sharp Johnson was watching 2 nights ago. Hell of a boxer as well. you know. Anyway, guys, I gotta go. Peace to you guys. I'm gonna catch you guys later. Peace.